motion.
Let's come
Back to the future.
I say the future is
encore.
This is serious, people.
Welcome to the party.
the one, the only.
DJ Mikey Motion.
So, do you want to hear some of that fancy techno shit?
This is madness.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, man, you know it's coming right about now.
And now, please welcome the man of the hour.
Mikey Motion.
We are back. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming in. Grab a chair, grab a seat, whatever it is you're doing. If you're lying down, watching it in your bed, get nice and comfy, get a wee joint rolled, whatever your tipple, get a wee drink, a wee glass iron brew, whatever it is you do, knock yourself out. But we're back. This is episode 2 of Mikey's Bit the Podcast. I want to start off by saying a big, massive thank you to every single person who watched the first one and shared the first one. The response I got was absolutely amazing. I could, I would never imagined that, that's the kind of response I was going to get. Initially, when I was putting the first one out, I was nervous. First one, I was thinking, right, what's going to happen here? Am I going to get pelters? Am I going to get fucking folk try to slag us? Am I going to get people turning their nose up saying, why have you got a podcast? What you doing? Why are you telling people that? That's what was going through my head. But it was the total opposite. The amount of messages I got for people saying, they're related to it. They've been through the similar things. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human. I'm not claiming that I've went through anything any worse than anybody else. I'm just, getting stuff off my chest. I'm just, telling you some of my life experiences and some of the, the way I've felt through the process of some of them. So when I put it out, the amount of people that messaged me was just unreal, guys. So thank you. There was a lot of people grown guys messaging me, hard men messaging me saying they've been through the same stuff and they bottled it up for years, and some of them said they were greeting, crying, actually watching it. So that kind of hit home for me, that it actually was powerful for people to actually sit and watch it, enjoy it and take it in. That's a big thing for me. So thanks, guys. Also, the amount of people that contacted me, as in old mates that I hadn't spoke to in years, that I was really close with, they got in contact with me as well. And see, even just for that fact, for people to reach out to me again and speak to me and, get back in contact, that's it. That made my day. It made it all worthwhile. But again, guys, thanks very much for watching and sharing. In terms of views, I think it's just under 1,000 views for the last one now. That's not a great deal of views. I mean, it is a lot. For 1,000 people to sit down and watch that and take it in and enjoy it and take something away from it, that's amazing. In terms of, how can I say this? Like, social media views, like, let's say, normal stuff I put up on Facebook, the views are crazy. You get like 10, between 10, it could be 30,000, millions of views. Alright, but this is YouTube, so it's a bit harder. The algorithms, not the same as it used to be. It's a lot slower. I'm trying to build up the subscribers now. So in terms of, just under 1,000 people watching and taking something away for that, amazing. But guys, like I said, I want to try and create a podcast that you can sit down, enjoy, and, again, take something away from it. But the last one I felt like I was talking about, stuff that people needed to hear. It was a bit of doom and gloom. I was talking about deaths, a lot of mates dying, deaths in the family. So this time, I want to focus on talking about something good, something that something that's no longer here anymore. So again, it might be a bit doom and gloom, but I basically want to talk about the 90s, right? The 90s. My favourite years, alright? Now, the reason I've been thinking a lot about the 90s recently is because, right, let's go back to, the situation we're in now, right? COVID, again, guys, nobody knows what's fucking happening. Nobody knows when it's going to go away. I mean, I'm not a big politics guy. It does my tits in, to be honest with you, and it bores the fucking life out of me. I just don't like following it. So, I mean, I just go with what I hear with people saying, alright? I really do. I don't delve into it too much, but they're saying, stuff's going to be getting back to normal over the next few months. And I don't want to be a dick and say it's no, because how am I meant to decide that? I don't know if it is or no, but what I'm saying is, based on experience through the whole year, I'm not getting my hopes up for fucking anything, man. I'm not getting my hopes up for anything. I'm not getting my hopes up for clubs opening back up, because, they've already said, pubs opened back up for a while and they get shut down again. You see different countries, they're out of lockdown and they're back in again. So I really don't know. I just don't want to get my hopes up. All I'm doing now is just focusing on me, my comedy writing, everything. Just basically focus on me, spending as much time as I can and having a good, bit of time with my daughter. But that's what I'm want to get into. So, the current times we're in now, I feel so sorry. I mean, if you've got kids yourself, you'll understand what I mean here, right? Now, my daughter's 7, right? 7 years of age. That's a good time of your life when you should be out, running about, playing, experiencing new things, experiencing wee challenges. Now, see, these days, I feel sorry for my daughter because she doesn't get out to play, right? She doesn't get out to play, right? Because there's nothing for Wednesday to do now at all. I used to, before lockdown, I was taking my daughter to ice skating every weekend, right? And she loved it. I loved it. I used to go to ice skating many moons ago when I was young, and I loved it. Me and all my mates used to go every Saturday and a Friday night. They had the disco, the rave tunes playing. It was amazing, right? But getting back into that with my daughter, just a year ago, it was class. It was bringing good memories back for me, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. Steve, my brother, he bought her a pair of ice skates for her Christmas, and she just watching her, she kept falling and getting her up, and see when she started realising she was getting good at it, see her wee face, man, amazing, honestly. So I really, really enjoyed going, even taking her to the pictures, going to the swimming, always, every weekend, I was basically out doing something. Well, what have we got now? None of that. We've got none of that. So, I mean, all you can really do is take your Wednesday to a fucking park or something, right? Now, the reason I'm getting into the 90s is because when I was thinking about it, I've been thinking about it. I think about it all the time, the 90s, right? But over the past week or two, I've really, really, really had my head in the 90s. Everything, right? Everything about it was just amazing. When I was 7, right? I was out every single day, right? I was gone missing. I was out playing, you were always up to something with your wee mates. You were playing with matches. You were, honestly, you were always out. You're always doing something. What I've done here is I've wrote some stuff down, right? So that I can kind of recall back. Now, guys, stay with me here, because if I pause, all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get back. I'm trying to get my head back into the feeling it, so that I can actually articulate, if that even sounds right, so that I can basically take you back, try and get you to feel the feelings, that buzz you used to get when you were growing up. So just stick with me. If I mutter and I stutter, that's just me. I have got a stutter. I'll get back to that, and it's been getting worse through the years. But if I pause, stick with me, because what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get back into that feeling now. Basically, I've wrote some stuff here, and I was born in 1986, right? So a few years before the 90s started, and I would have been 4 in 1990, right? So if I just a few seconds, guys, I've got this here. I've just got wee pinpoints that I want to sort of talk about now. 1990, after that I can remember my first sort of early memories of the 90s out playing is in Whitlaburn, right? Whitlaburn housing scheme, which was, it's in Cambuslang in Glasgow, right? And there's, I mean, it's, to be fair, just a absolute concrete jungle, right? Back in the day, the place was fucking wild, like absolutely bonkers with people, like all walks of life, right? But they had 6 high-rise flats, 6 massive high-rise flats, 12 floors in each, 72 houses in each tower, and surrounding that was just closes and closes and closes, like masonette buildings, right? And you see every single tower, near enough every single landing and every single tower had kids, had wains, right? So there was, every single house was just a fucking family, and there was like 2, 3 wains at the least, right? Which meant every single landing near enough had their own wee gang of wains, group of wains that went about. So if you've got the 6 towers, 72 houses in each, right? And every single close had was just packing with wains out the front gardens, out the back gardens. I'm trying to describe this for you so that I can take you back there. Now, as I was saying, like, there was just wains everywhere, right? It's something you don't see anymore either. There's just, you know, it's as if it's dead. Everywhere's a fucking ghost town. Everybody's in their houses. The wains, they're not going out to play. They're playing, you know, their computers, they're on their iPads. They've not got what we had. And it's, I think people that were kind of born in the 80s and the 90s were the last group of people that had the sort of stuff that I'm about to talk about. And it's sad as fuck. That's why I'm feeling so sorry for my daughter, because no matter what, I mean, I know people, like, say people, for people that were born in the 80s and the 90s, right? Say people for the 60s and the 70s, the 50s, 60s, 70s will probably say the same to us. But we really were, the 80s and the 90s, we really were the last generation of Waynes to get an experience, the actual real life, going out to play stuff, right? Now, every single, like I was saying before, every single tower and close had an absolute gang of Waynes, right? And it was mental. So every close, at every wee square, there was actually a park at every you know, block of closes. So there would be 1, 2, 3 massive closes, and there would be a park in it, and that would be for all the Waynes. And then if you go up to the next block, there was another park, and that happened all the way through Whitlaburn. So it had the east side, the west side, and the middle, and the towers. They ended up building one big giant park. We called it the Gladiator Park, and it was a cracker, man. When it opened up, it was a belter, because it had, you know, all the other wee parks had just fucking a set of swings and a wee shoot, that was it. But the park that opened up, when that opened up, man, every cunt was up there, right? Everybody, every single person, every single youngster for the whole of the scheme hit this park, right? Just, so it was mayhem. Every day was fucking mayhem. There was just wee guys all fighting, you know, just fucking knocking fuck at each other, playing football, you know, all the things you done when you were young. I've got some of the stuff here now. Obviously, you know, when you were young and all, I'm saying 1992 was the Euros, right? So every wee guy was out playing football. Every single wee guy was out with a ball. We used to go up the there was two massive big full-size football parks, the koozie we called it, and everybody would go up there. I mean, everybody that's listening to this, you'll relate to this, because if you grew up my scheme, the stuff I'm talking about, it doesn't matter whereabouts in Glasgow or the surrounding areas it is, it's the same stuff that happened, it's the same people, alright? So, we would go up and, you know, you were watching the games on the telly, and you'd go out with all your wee pals and you'd be playing football. Same goes with tennis. When the tennis was on the telly in the summer, long summers, and everybody, big giant tennis tournaments, and every single, it was just like a mad atmosphere. The place was electric. The place was fucking bouncing all the time. And again, no, you just don't get it. You don't, anywhere you go, you very rarely see, you know, Wayne's out playing. You just don't see it. And that's in the space of it, 20 years or something. And obviously that's technology as well, the way it's moved on so fast. It's a sad fucking thing, man, but it really does, it really gets to me, because I try and explain to my daughter, she's still young, she is only 7, right, but it's like, they'll just never know. They'll never know. I mean, the stuff I'm talking to you's about the new, right? I can talk to my mates and say, remember that time we done this or we done that, like fucking whatever it may be, whatever mischief you were up to. But we've got the memories. New Waynes are going to be sitting saying to their pals in 20 years, like my daughter will be turning around to her pal in 20 years and say, remember that time I sent you a message on Facebook? That's all they're going to have. That is all they're going to have. Really, it bugs me, man. So you had the World Cup, you had the Euros 92, then World Cup 94, and I can remember that. 86, so I'd have been 86, 87, 88, 89, 91, 92. So I'd have been 6, 7 and 8, between 6 and 8 when all that was going on, and I can remember back, like the first memories I've got of playing is out in a scorching hot summer, you're a wee guy, your ma and dad's out, all the neighbours are out, and just Wayne's playing everywhere, and you're playing big games of Heidi. This is back in the day when, see, like the grass didn't even get cut. See, if there was big up the fields, the grass was fucking humongous, man, and you'd get the games of Heidi you would get, you just to lose your pals and all that fucking, it was just honestly an amazing time. And you'd be out playing every day you came home from school, the first thing you done was grab a Fitbit. I'm not too into Fitbit these days, I fell away from it right through the years. I don't even really watch it anymore. If there's a Man City game on, I'll maybe watch it with my dad, watch the odd Celtic game, but that's it. I really don't follow Fitbit anymore, but when I was a youngster, that was, I loved Fitbit. Fitbit was everything. I just played Fitbit every single day with my brother and all my wee mates, and I do miss it. I miss it, man. But you were always up to something. But the good thing about the tower I grew up in, it was Kintor Tower, so we stayed in the second floor out of the 12, and there was some shady characters in the scheme, man. Like you get everywhere. But you know, there was just all walks of life. There's really nice people that I still to this day, you know, think about, and people that taught you things and you didn't even realise then. But I mean, years later, you start to realise, fuck, that's a wee lesson. But I remember when I stayed in Kintor Tower, you know, that's the first house we ever had, and I think the way I am now and everything that I'm into was shaped growing up in that tower. Kind of music, films I'm into, just the character, everything about that. I think back then, that's what kind of, not totally, but that was the kind of roots. That's what kind of kicked it off. I mean, I'm going to speak about something here, and it's like when I was a wee guy, right? So when you stayed in these flats, there was in a landing, there was 3 houses, right? I stayed in number 7, and then there was a bigger landing in the middle, and then you go through a door, and then there's another 3. So every floor in the tower block had 6 houses, right? Now, my next door neighbours at the time, if you're watching, Claire, big shout out to you, Claire Gray. aye, I know you watched the last one and you sent me a wee message, but that's what I used to play with Claire out in the landing, right? And, you know, just thinking back, it was class, man. You're just a wee young guy. You've got no cares, no worries about anything. You're just constantly in the moment, right? Nowadays, everybody's depressed at their nut, right? Because you're living in the past. Your head's in the past, so you're depressed. And people's heads are in the future. They're anxious. That's how everybody's fucking and get anxiety, because they're thinking about the future of what's going to happen. They're thinking the worst. When you think back to when you were a wee guy, when you were a youngster, it felt magic. Want to know the reason it felt magic? Because you're constantly living in the moment. You're experiencing everything in that moment. You're present. Everything that's happening, you're sitting it on. You didn't have a phone. You weren't concentrating on anything else apart from having a good time in that moment. So, I'm going to say, I must have annoyed the life, Claire. I must have annoyed the life out of you, your brother and your mum, because every single day I chapped their door asking for it was, and I didn't even realise until I was older, and I'm like, fuck me, man, I must have done their nothing. I must have done their tits in. But I was just a curious wee guy, man. Like, I was for age of fucking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to about 10, I would say. I think every day I chapped their door, and it was Stephen Gray. I looked up to the guy. If you ever watch this, my man, I did. I looked up to you like a big bra, and it was good because obviously he was a cool guy. Claire, you were cool as fuck as well. So I was just looking at them like they're cool. I want to be like them. So I was just chatting my door, and I was asking for tapes. Like, it was them that introduced me to the Freddy tapes, right? And I probably shouldn't have been watching them when I was a wee guy. My mum probably shouldn't have let me watch them either. But it was that, Beetlejuice, The Lost Boys. All my kind of favourite films, that's when I started watching them all. Alright? I used to chat by door and I'm like, if you get any rave tapes, he gave me my first rave tape. Do you know what I mean? So, get back to the days. When I think back, it's an amazing feeling, man. Like, they were good times. Growing up in that tower was amazing. I mean, there was a lot of bad shit that happened, right? There was a lot of fucking shady, dodgy characters that I'm maybe going to speak about if I feel like it when as the episodes move on. But the good memories, man, all the good shit that happened was fucking just amazing. And I realised that nowadays, some schemes have got it right, but I mean, Fernhill, right? I grew up in kind of Fernhill as well. I started hanging about down there when I was about 12, when I was in first or second year, and I grew up with all the boys down there. Ever since, they're all my best pals. So that is a scheme that through the years had community. Everybody knew everybody. Do you know what I mean? Everybody looked out for everybody. Whitlaburn used to be like that. Whitlaburn was also like that. Like every single person in the block of flats, the flats next to you, everybody knew each other. That's how all the ones that were out playing, you could go missing and your mum would be out looking for you, worried. And have you seen Michael? And one of the neighbours would say, he's just down the back playing, right? Oh, thank God. You don't get that anymore. You just don't. I stay in Campbellsline Main Street now. I've got a main road at the back of me and I've got a main road at the front of me, so there's no, unless I take the way out to play, I'm not going to let her out herself because I don't know any of the neighbours. I've tried to kind of get to know the neighbours, but everybody's in their own wee bubbles now. Everybody's fucking anxious as fuck, want to keep away from each other, and it's just not the same as it used to be. The community, I think, has just disappeared. Alright, like I said, you do still get it in some schemes, some areas, but nowadays I've realised, like even in Whitlaburn now, when you're walking about, there's nobody you recognise. So as if like people for different schemes, areas just get papped in to these places, and it's just I really miss the way it used to be. It used to be, you could go out and play, and your ma, but probably, I'm not saying my mum wasn't worrying about me, but you know, you get away with it a lot more. As I said, I would not let my wee unit to play at all unless I'm out well and I can see her. I mean, my ma, right? She was mental, man. Back in the day, like even if I was fighting, I used to go up greeting. He dude me or whatever. Or my ma used to get me, right? My ma used to grab me, go off her nut. Whoever it was, doesn't matter who it was, drag me down and fling me on them and say, fucking batter him. And that's what I done most of the time. Alright, sometimes like, I can't do that, I'm no, but a lot of the times, that's what used to happen, right? And my ma was a warrior through her whole life, right? She was, like, I think, it was probably like, sorry for stuttering here, guys, I'm just trying to find the words. My ma, I would say, through her life, she had mental health problems, right? I know she did, but they were never ever diagnosed, and because it wasn't a big thing back then, and people would just say, oh, you're off your nut. But I really do, now I know that that's the kind of thing she had, but she was always a massive, massive warrior. So my mum would always be out fucking in the veranda shouting. Do you know what I know what? And it's mental. I can still sometimes hear her shouting. Sometimes I'll just be, honest to God, she's dead obviously, right? I told you that in the last one, but it's so weird, man. Like, it'll just come into my head sometimes, like my mum shouting at me, Michael! It's crazy. But that's what she used to do, man, if she seen me going away or whatever, and I'd be like, fucking, and I'd always say, fucking hell, I'm not allowed to do anything, man, I'm not allowed to do anything. But she just cared. I wouldn't even let my daughter out at all. So, and that was back then. My mum was worried when you could get away with stuff. I mean, everything that happens nowadays happened back in the day as well. Alright? Everything, you know, you've got murderers, fucking rapists, paedophiles, they've always been there. But nowadays, you know, everything's heightened. Everything's just, you know, you've got the social media, news spreads faster. Back in the day, you didn't have any cameras. We'll go into that as well. I mean, Whitlaburn, no, I'd say, was it 97, 98 or 99 or something like that? Late 90s, Whitlaburn was the most cameraed area in the UK. And that's a fact, right? A lot of dodgy shit was happening. But this is how many cameras there was, right? So, like I said, there was 72 houses in each tower block. Now, there was when you walk into the tower, there was a camera at the back, there was a camera at the front, there was cameras on the drying areas, right? There was cameras in both lifts, there was a camera in every stairwell, there was a camera in every landing. Outside every tower in Masonette, there's big cameras everywhere. So, and there's a concierge right in the middle of the scheme, and it's got all the, you know, all the screens up with all the cameras run about it. Now, it was like Big Brother. I mean, when they went in, you're like, fuck's sake, you're constantly getting watched. But that's what it's like everywhere now. Anywhere you go, there's cameras everywhere. You mean, you know, people get caught fucking doing shit all the time. Mostly, and it's through video footage, through evidence, through camera. But back then, you didn't have that at all. I think I've lost my train of thought here. I have. I'll go into something else and that'll come back to me, guys, sorry. But aye, you were always up to something, and you know, you were just constantly going missing. Like, you and your wee pals, you'd be like, right, fucking, let's go. I'm talking about proper stand by me shit. When you look back, when you think about it, I mean, you're going missing for a day, you're going away, going into adventure and into different schemes. You know, that it's alien to you because you get brought up in this wee place. I mean, the only place you'd ever been is if you went to one of your family members, if you went to your granny's bit, right? Which I'll speak about as well. If you went down to your granny's, or else if you went into the town, or if you went to school, right? If you weren't going away any holidays, I mean, all you knew was your area. So that's another good thing when you were younger. Just the fucking innocence of exploring things. Like I said, you're venturing into different schemes and you're like, whoa, looks dodgy, this doesn't look like my area, and you think you're miles away from home, but you're no. But you would go missing up the fields. I mean, I remember, man, fucking, like, 3 or 4 of your wee pals, you'd be up finding a burn, making a fucking death slides, falling in the burn, like, shit, man, I'm soaking, I'm got my granny's for dinner, my mum's going to kill me. And you'd just be, you're in your mod boot looking for you, and you'd hear, you'd be, oh, fuck, man, here we go, I'm going to get a tank in here. That's just the way it was. It was class, just class wee adventures, man. Everybody would boot playing football again. Hockey, we started a wee hockey team with the rollerblades. That's another thing, man. Remember rollerblades, right? Fucking Bauer FX, I think it was. But every single Wayne was out on a pair of rollerblades. Even before that, I remember the skateboard craze, early 90's. Hold on, I'm going to put my internet on to check something here. Early 90's. Skateboards, everybody wanted a skateboard, and if you remember them, they had the wee stunt ones, but the big ones they had, and when you turned to air on the back, it had like a cool mad graffiti painting, like a mad fucking zombie with its face melting or something. They were class. Now, my earliest memories of that was again up Kinto Tower, facing out the back way. There was one of the wee parks. Now, if you know, the tower's facing out, so there's a big bit of patch of grass, a wee park, and then there's 3 closes surrounding it, so it's basically this wee square of grass, and at the side there's hundreds of concrete. I just remember everybody out, like I would say, I'm going to say at least between 50 and 100 Waynes all jump about this bit with wee ramps built, and I can just remember being a wee guy, just a wee guy, about 5 or 6 or 7, run about that age and just being like that, whoa man, this is class, and watching all the older ones flying after ramps and you're trying it yourself and you're falling and you're fucking out up the house with skint knees. I remember that, and I remember getting a pair of rollerblades, and everybody was just out in the rollerblades, out and building big giant ramps. It was crazy when you think back, man. And the BMXs, they were class, man. You were always out on your bike, you know, fucking, I remember getting a bike for my birthday, or my Christmas, I think it was a wee BMX, and I was fucking flying down this hill, man. It obviously was a shanner, right? It wasn't built right or something, but I'm fucking flying down, man, and the back wheel comes off, and there's fucking, I'm like, my wee mate's like, fuck, fucking sparks flying, fit and all that, and you're pressing the handlebars, and I can fucking flying right out the handlebars. Just amazing stuff, man. But the summers were amazing. When you were a wee guy, the summers just felt as if they went on for absolute ever. Do you know what I mean? They were just, I always just remember them being roasting hot, and when you were off school, it felt like forever, and it was class, man. It just never ending. And again, you were always doing something. You were always out. Squishy gun fights, man. Squishy gun fights, fucking Super Soaker 10,000s, fucking water balloons. It was amazing, man. Honestly, it's just talk about it, everything about it. The music back then, you can, you know, you're out playing, you're a wee guy, and fucking, I remember I had a wee pal. Shout out to wee John Macknell, by the way, as well. He watched the last one. Thank you, my man. But I used to play with him, and John, you were a wee bit younger at the time, but you still came out and you played with us, and we would be playing the computer and that, and it was just class times to think back. But my wee pal Jamie Macknell, he was like my first real wee pal, and we done everything together. It was like me, him, Steve-O, and a couple other wee pals for and about. But if we weren't, I mean, I'm talking about people Wayne's playing computers now, but we were. It was, you know, winter time or at night time, and you're playing Sega, you're playing Sonic, you're playing all the wee games you used to play. But if no, we were just out, we're out on the bikes, we're running about, just causing havoc. But I always remember, he stayed in the 9th flare, we stayed in the 2nd, so we faced out the front way, and his veranda faced out the back, so I always remember this. He had a Bonkers CD, it was the first Bonkers, and it was a Hixie mix, and he put it on the CD, there's a wee CD player now, the wee man used to get a wee mini one. He put it on and put his wee speakers at the window, and we ran away down the stair and jumped out the park so we could sit and listen to the park, and it was fucking, miles up, you know what I mean? We could vaguely hear it or something like that. It was no point in put on. But these are all the wee times, and I remember when you're young as well, like the ice cream van would come, right? The ice cream van would come, and all the wains would be gone mental. You'd hear the tune, it would all be gone mental. But see, because I mean, if you stayed up the tower, so if the van came, see by the time you run away up the tower and back down, it's off. So you'd be shouting in your maw, you'd be like, Mom! Can I get 50p for the van? Remember that? Like that, Mom! Then your ma'd be like that, fucking no! Get up to bed for fucking school in the morning! Oh, it's just mental, man. Your mom would fling you 50p down. I always remember, if you stayed, Wayne shouting up, and their ma, maybe they stayed fucking 8, 9, 10 flights up, and their ma's like, I've only got a fucking pound note! And then the Waynes are shouting, put 2 pences in it to make it heavy so it floats down. But these are, oh my god, man, I'm getting buzzing. I'm buzzing just talking about it, guys. What else have we got? So, talking about the summers, out on your bike every day, many gears you got, big man, you know, quench your cup, that's another thing, quench your cup right in the back tyre. So you're belting by people sounding like a motorbike. Aye, honestly, man, it was just a great time. But like I said, the days are gone and they are just memories now. And it's shite when you think about it. You know, when you think back, you just think the way it used to be to the way it is now. I would say things have got worse through the years. I mean, in different senses for different things, you know, like obviously things in the world have got a lot better, but I just think the 90s were a great time, a cracking time. I mean, first, talking about the music sort of side of things, my first kind of early memories of music was always with my dad playing. Camera sitting on it. Sorry, guys. My first memories of music was always it was always my dad. You know, my dad playing CDs, and he was into everything, absolute everything. He still is. It doesn't matter if he likes it. He's like, right, he's always buying CDs, still always buying CDs, and he had, you know, millions back again. I used to go into his room, and he had just had like a big one, you know, the tower. To put the CDs, a big stacker thing, and I just used to love going through them all, opening the CDs up, reading, you know, the song lyrics, reading the back of it. That's all you had back then. You didn't have internet. You didn't. You couldn't research. You really couldn't. All you had to kind of work things out for yourself back then. And I always remember just listening. But Doctor Who that get played in my house constantly. I love him still to this day. All early kind of dance things, like, you know, just your usual charty stuff. All the kind of charty dance. And, you know, pretty much every kind of sort of style of music, I heard it. So when I was about 6 or 7, there was this, there was a wee community centre, right? And again, I'm getting buzzing just about what I talk about this. So, it was a wee Whitlaburn community centre. Was it Friday night or Saturday night? Might be, every Friday night they had a wee rave, right? The Whitlaburn Bop, Whitlaburn Rave. Now, the first time I went to that, I was 6 years old. I remember what I was wearing. I had a green pair of fucking goofy dungarees on, right? Goofy dungarees. And I had my hair spiked up, and I was like, here we go. But it was a lassie who stayed up the stair that took me. She was a bit older. She's like, can I take Michael to the disco now? And I was like, aye, on you go. Now, see, this is a thing. Back then, you could get away with shit like that. You can't anymore, right? You can't. I would never let my wee lassie, I would never let a wee older, I mean, I must have been about 6, so this lassie would have been about 10 or 11. No way. No fucking way am I letting my wee lassie just bounce to away with somebody like that. I'm not saying my ma or my dad was wrong for that, because it was just normal, right? I mean, people would get, wains to babysit their wains, watch their wains, you'd get a night out, and I mean that's just a common thing. I really don't know. I wouldn't get him to babysit my wane unless they were a really, really close family member, right? But that used to be the norm. So wee lassie took me round, and I can remember this was my first kind of basically disco-y rave experience, and I remember getting in, and it was just bouncing with people. But I was a tiny wee guy, but all these people looked like full-scale grown. They weren't the oldest people that were probably bouncing about in there at the time would have been about 16, I would say. So that was the age. That was the sort of fucking, the ages between people at 5, 6 and 7 right up to 16. We're going to this rave. Joe Potter was the DJ, and I can't remember the guys. Was it Bobby Brown? He was a bouncer, and he had a wee tuck shop, and they sold fucking 5 and 10p cups of Panda Pops, fucking juice. They had pickles. They had fucking mixtures made up, 2 bob Chris, 10p Chris, all that. But I can just remember getting in, and it was tunes like fucking I've got the key, I've got the secret, this is a rave of Marvin I, all that, but really ravey stuff they were playing. And there was a strobe light, and it was fucking everybody all going, oh, this and doing the fit dancing. It blew me away when I seen it. I was like, yeah. So now, see, for the first time I went there, I only stopped going a couple of weeks ago. But I must have went to that rave every Friday religiously for the age of 6 to about 10. Honestly. And the music that was getting played, the people that went, everybody all rave dancing about, it was just a buzz. It was class. Then as you get a wee bit older, you're starting to get wee birds, and you're nipping about 10 birds a night, know what I mean? You get a different bird every week. That's where I broke my fucking VL. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about when I broke my VL. Now, right, so I would have been about 9 or 10, aye, and, sitting, I can remember exactly what happened. I was sitting, in the disco, big dance floor that had a wee stage, the DJ, Joe Potter, and then there was seats all around the edges, just like a normal, it was like a wee nightclub, right? Let's say it was like a wee nightclub. And I'm sitting, and there was this lassie, Tracy something, I can't remember her name, but she was nice. I can say that because I was 10 and all, right? So, I can just remember sitting next to her and turning round, and she just smacked her lips on me, and she started fucking putting her tongue, and I'm like that. It blew my napper off, my head fell off, man, right? I was like, whoa, what's fucking happening here? Like, fucking unicorns not jumping about, It blew my mind. But after it, I'd done that. I didn't know what nipping was. I didn't know what fucking shagging or anything. I didn't know any of that stuff, right? I didn't know what was what. And I was like, what the fuck just happened to me there? I was shiting it to go up the road. I was like, fuck, what if my mom knows I've just done that? I can remember leaving the wee place, like pure shiting it. I broke my VL and I shat it, right? I honestly shat it, because I was like, right, what's just happened there? I felt all tingly and felt all weird. And I was like, fuck, man. I was trying to hide my tongue. Like, my mum, the disco good, like, aye, get in my room. Know what I mean? But that that's what happened, man. I'll never forget it. Alright? Never forget it. I can't remember the lassie's name, Tracy something. I'm sure she was from Afghan. She had a big cousin, I'm sure. A big cousin Vicky. But I can't, that's all I can remember for that. But after that, oh, Jesus. Once I knew what it was, once I found out what nipping was, every bloody week, about 5 or 6 a week. Easy. That was a good thing, I know, man. And the summers, you end up going about with a wee group of lassies, and you were just mad, man. You were just running about, fucking playing walk a plank, and fucking kiss, cuddle and torture, 2-man hunt, all these mad games. It was just rounders. Like, I can remember looking out my veranda one night, right, and it was a summer night, and I can remember, because I got out to play at 12 at night, right, I remember must have got shouted up the road at 9, and then, you know, my mum and dad were watching a film in the living room, and I jumped out to the veranda, and there was about 4 or 5 wee guys and lassies still out playing rounders, and I was like to my mum, can I get and play? Oh, it's too late, son. I'm like, please, man, just down there. And they let us out. I was like, yes, man, out at 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? Out at 12 o'clock. Nah. But these are all the wee things you remember, and they're good memories, man. Honestly, they're really good memories. But what I was thinking about the other day there as well, now this is quite mad, right? Now let me get the internet on. And now, I didn't know this until recently, right? But right, so I don't want to really mention any names here because I'm not a grass, right? But I'll kind of tell you the just what I found out and what happened. I'm looking at the time, 45 minutes, we're cool. So now, this is going back to no letting your wings out, like no letting them just fuck off with anybody. Now, like I said, when you're a wee guy, you're up to mischief. You know, you're just, anything could go down, right? You're away playing in different areas, different schemes. You know, you're up the field, setting the fields on fire. You're fucking just doing stupid stuff. You're out playing chappy. When you're getting a wee bit older, you're flinging fucking bricks and stains at hussies and all that, right? All these things happen. But there's always one wee guy, one wee fucking sick nutter that leads you astray, right? There's always one. I mean, I think everybody, I would say maybe, in my experience, I would say everybody has experienced it happen to them and everybody's done it in a kind of way. Everybody's led somebody astray. Everybody's been led astray and everybody's led somebody astray. In my experience, because I've led people astray, I'll put my hand up. But for me, now let's go back to when I went to the Whittlesburn rave, right? I just remembered something about that there, by the way. The Whittlesburn rave, I remember when I was getting in, the DJ Joe Potter, right? Everybody used to have a kind of wee like Joe Potter's greatest hits and all that, right? Joe Potter. The DJ used to stand on the stage, music blaring, fucking disco lights going, rave lights, strobe lights, a smoke machine, right? And I'm looking up, and the guy is on a fucking phone, a big old phone. I'm like, how can he hear? How can he fucking hear who he's talking to on the phone? But he was always on it. He was on it. That was just the headphones, guys. It was, remember the old decks? It was the old vinyl. It was like, I don't know if it was Citronic, but it was 2 big turntables and a mixer plugged in the WAN. And the headphones that you got with it was an actual telephone. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting away. But this lassie that took me, right? She took me to the disco, and then she started taking me every week. But they ended up moving away, but I was a regular. I was a resident in that place, right? I ended up with a full season ticket and I was there religiously. But that lassie that took me, now, her wee brother, who was a year older than me, now this wee guy is one of the guys I'm talking about. This wee cunt was fucking ruthless. Like, the shit he used to do, I can remember back when I was a wee guy, it was just mental. But the shit he used to fucking try and make me and my wee pals do was unreal, right? Now there's I think about this every time I walk past this wee bit. At the back of Whittlesburn, there's a pub called the Lawburn, now it's called, but it used to be called the Bel Air. Behind that, it's one of the fucking steepest hills you'll ever get, and it leads right down to Canby Main Street, and it's main roads, right? West Coates Hill goes onto a main road. Now, when I was talking about skateboards, this wee guy used to be just like that, right? We'll go away, and he used to basically just fuck off, right? And you would follow him because he'd be like, mon. So you're just a wee guy, you go with him. But he would have you, honest to God, I don't know how, you know, I'm still here with half of the things that this wee cunt had you doing. How did he jump off massive fucking, you're just a wee guy, you're doing it, you want to show off to the kind of the older ones, you want to be one of them. So, but he had you on your belly, right? Flying down this mad, the one of the steepest hills you'll ever get on a skateboard onto oncoming traffic. I'm no kidding on. I remember, and that's miles away from my house at the time where I stayed in the tower. I wasn't allowed down there, but you went, and these are the kind of wee daft things. You had you jumping off mad big fucking high walls and all that, and you're fucking breaking and snapping your ankles and that. But this wee cunt was naughty, right? This wee cunt was a naughty cat, and I recently found out. I say to myself, I wonder what happened to him. I wonder where he ended up. I'll tell you what happened. Now, to give you a bit of background, my ma used to babysit him and his big sister, right? The dad was a fucking loon ball, a crazy cunt. He was a pimp. He was an actual fucking pimp, right? And a bit of a drug dealer. Again, I don't want to tell you any names because, let me just find what I'm going to try and find this news report. So, I was thinking, sorry if I'm all over the place here, guys, just stick with me. I'm a bit of a fluster cat here, but I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, I wonder what happened to him. I wonder where he ended up. And do you know the thing that people always say? You always heard your ma saying it, or whoever it was, that boy's going to end up dead or in the jail. And there isn't, oh, I swear to God, man, there isn't a truer saying. The amount of people that you hear that can said about them, it happens. They're either dead or in the jail. Shite to say, but I swear to God, the amount of people I grew up with that you've heard it saying it, you've said it yourself, and it's still happening now. To people, you're like, right, he's going to either be dead or in the jail, and it's so true, man. But this cunt, I was thinking, what happened to him? Where did he end up? And this is what I found out. Hold on a second, I'm just trying to find this, what I found out about him. And I was like, do you know what? I wasn't even really sure. I was shocking to find out and see what happened to him, but I was like, I knew that was going to happen. I fucking knew it. But to the extent of what he done, you're just like, wait a fucking minute here. Now this is going back to the fucking kind of days, see the Jamie Bulger case or that sort of stuff, the early 90s. All that shit was happening on the news, and your ma, I'm not saying, I mean, everybody's ma and dad, you're just when you're going to play, you don't think of that shit's going to happen, but this wee cunt was like, honest to God, when I think back, I'm like, he's a John Venables character, I swear to God, man. Where is this fucking, hold on till I find this, guys, I'm sorry for, flustering here. I'll just try to fucking talk to yous. I've never done this before. I'm trying to talk to yous and find something at the same time, but still keep it entertaining. So, right, guys, I found it. So again, basically, this wee guy was just a psycho. I can remember, man, just the shit he used to fucking hit out one day, but you were just like, right, you've lost it, wee man. You're a fucking screwball. So here it is here. This is what I found out. Only, no long ago. So, and this is just this one story, right? But a man so they're talking about this guy. I don't want to say his name, right? But I'll tell you his nickname. This is what he used to call himself. This is how you know he's a crackpot. He called himself Flames, right? That was his nickname when he was a wee guy. Call me Flames, right? Mad Flames. So, a man who slashed a taxi driver from ear to ear, then attacked an elderly woman, has been detained at the state hospital without limit of time. He then drove off and repeatedly stabbed Jean Evans, 69, at Duke's Road. So this cunt got in a taxi, slashed the taxi driver from ear to ear, then jumped out, tried to stab a woman to death, a 69-year-old woman at Duke's Road. Did I read his name? I hope I did. I want to edit that out. So he faced an attempted murder charges, but was acquitted on the grounds he was mentally ill, right? So the High Court in Glasgow heard that, I feel a news reporter here, a mad newsreader. The High Court in Glasgow heard that he is suffering from amnesia with regard to the incidents and has no recollection of what happened. So he's obviously, He knows what he's done, and he's saying, I don't know, I'm off my head. He always was off his head, but he's saying he's off his head. So, significant risk, it says here. Dr. Nicola Swindon, a consultant forensic psychiatrist at the State Hospital, told Advocate Deputy Bill McVicker, prosecuting, that the man in question is psychotic and suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. She added, he believes that digital demons have infiltrated world leaders and official bodies. It is clear he poses a very significant risk to himself and others. Of course it fucking does. Dr. Swindon and Louise Ramsey, a consultant forensic psychiatrist at the Douglas Lynch Institute in Glasgow, both agreed that the man should be detained at the State Hospital on a compulsion order and a restriction order. Lord Turnbull ordered that let's say his name again. Lord Turnbull ordered that the man in question, who has history of mental health problems since 2002, should be detained there under special security. It will be up to the doctors to determine whether he is fit to be released. The court heard that he was wearing a black... Right, this is the fucking mental part. This is how you know this cunt is an absolute real living schizo. Right, now, he was wearing a black dinner suit and a bow tie, right? And he bleached his hair blonde and put it into a Mohican when he entered the taxi. So this cunt knows what he's doing. He's cutting about with a big fucking kitchen knife, right? With a black suit on, a bow tie, and he's got a Mohican, and he's jumped into a taxi. So the taxi driver had to undergo emergency surgery. He was left lying in the street following the attack with blood gushing from his neck. Absolute mental, right? Now, these are the kind of the people that you're jumping about with when you're a wee guy, but it's just one of the examples of, hold on guys, it's one of the examples that when you hear your ma saying, that wee guy's going to end up dead or in the jail, and it's true, man. And that's just something that he get caught for. So what else has that guy been doing? Through all the years, what else has he done? Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. But, so, like I said, right, I miss the 90s. I do. I miss it. It's good to remember them. It's good to get nostalgic. I hope for yous listening to it, it's brought back good memories for yous. Might not articulated it as much as I had wanted to and as much as I'd hoped to, but hopefully, there's millions of stuff that happened that I forgot to mention. I've only been speaking for an hour. How can you cram a decade into an hour? You can't. It's impossible. But it's good to remember. But I just, like I said, taking you back to the present day, it's all changed, man. You just can't get away with anything now. And that's how I feel sorry for my daughter. I try and take her out as much as I can. Do you want to know what? I stay in Cambuslang, but she stays with her mum in Spring Hall as well, which is a housing area. She can get out to play up there more than what she can down here. So sometimes, I don't know if she gets out to play all the time, but I spoke to her ma last week, and I says, what's Kiana doing? And she said she's out playing with her wee pals. And see just hearing that she was out playing with pals, it made me feel really good. It did, because I'm thinking she needs it. All Waynes need if you're like me, right, you'll be trying your hardest to bring your Wayne up the best you can, but you want to have hints, you want to have the elements of the way you get brought up as well in that, and it's hard trying to do it, but because, like I said, you really can't do it anymore. We've got nothing in this current time. We've got nothing apart from taking your way to the park. That's it. And I'm not letting my Wayne run about with, you know, wee guys and wee lasses at 7 running about with all the crackpots of the day. Do you know what I mean? Wayne's getting snatched off the streets, especially all that Govan Hall shit. There's Wayne's getting snatched in supermarkets, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's a scary place, man. I know the world has always been a scary place. I mean, looking back as well, up that tower, I'll just something that came back to me there. I remember, like I said, I stayed in the second flare. Sometimes there was 2 lifts. There was a lift for the even side numbers and there was a lift for the odd side numbers. Sometimes a lift would be broke, so you would go up the back stairs. Now, the back stairs were a fucking scary place for a wee guy, especially at night time, right? Some of the lights were out. It was just the fucking places stinking of piss, smashed bottles. And the first time I seen this, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And I went in and told my mum and my dad. My dad went out and went fucking crazy, man. But I was going up the stairs and there was 2 junkies, right? I didn't know what junkies were. I was too young, but they looked at their fucking dial. The 2 of them were sitting like that, and one of them had a needle and the other one was burning a spoon. Now I was like, that's the first time I've seen that, and it looked dodgy, but as a wee guy, you really don't know. I just kind of shimmied by them and ran up the stairs and I went in the house and I done that. Innocent as fuck, like to my mum, there's 2 men out there and they're burning a spoon. And my mum was like, what? And my dad went out and went fucking mental, man. Basically putting them down the stairs, know what I mean? Get to fuck. And I mean, these are the kind of things that happened. I remember as well, just another wee story popped into my head there. Fucking there was a wee guy who used to go about with Mark. It was Feaster House, right? But he used to come up because one of my next door neighbours, that was his auntie. So he was a few years older than us as well. So he knew the score. I didn't. I was just a wee gullible guy. And you know, older ones, they go and do this, see man, go and do that. And you do it. I done it. I was like, for that, I was quite mad back then for doing things like that. I just wanted to show off. And it basically, any of them they asked me to do, like, go and do that, I'd be like, right, fuck it, I'll do it, right? But this was one, I must have been about 9 or 10, right? And I was out playing with this wee Mark cunt. I think we were out on our bikes fanning about. And then we just were fucked. We're sitting down at the bottom of the tower. And we're just having a wee talk. And he stood up. And he's looked down. He's like, oh, look at that. I'm like, what's that? He's like, that's a condom, right? But I'm like, a condom? What's a condom? And he's like, here. Going up and chap the neighbour and ask them if they've dropped their condom out their window, because they might need it. They might need the condom. I think somebody's dropped their condom out the window. So I'm a wee guy. I'm thinking I'm doing these people a favour up the stair. I'm like, oh, no bother. And I don't know, Claire, if you're watching this, I don't know if you will remember this, right? I marched up the stairs, think I'm doing a good turn. I went all the way up the stairs, chapped your door, and you came out, and I says, Claire, have you dropped your condom? You're like, what? What? I was like, have you dropped your condom at the window? There's a condom lying out there, is it yours? And you've started pissing yourself laughing, man. You've started howling, you went in, tell your mum, and your mum came out, and you're like, go take, what did you just ask me there? And I'm like to your mum, have you dropped your condom? You know what I mean? Think I'm doing a favour. And then your man's shut my door and my mum's out and fucking everybody's out like, say it again. I'm like, have you dropped your condom? I think I'm dead funny, but it was that wee bastard Mark that told me to do it. And I think he ended up getting into trouble for that. I think his auntie came out and picked him up and gave him a mad fucking bear hug, man. But aye, through this podcast, you'll probably find me dipping back to these wee stories, because it's good to talk about. These are good. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not, they're just in my head and I think about it, like, oh aye, but it's good to share them, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact you guys will have had, if not the same experiences, better ones, mentaler ones, whatever it is, but hopefully it digs up memories. So aye, on that note, we'll leave that there, and I hope you enjoyed that. But moving forward on the show, we're going to have a guest every show. Some of them will be big guests, like, you know, it could be DJs, comedians, it could be normal people, and I'll get them actually on. It might be, I don't really like Zoom. Excuse me, guys. I don't really like Zoom. I prefer dealing with people face to face. In fact, talking about that, I was on the Fatherless podcast Sean Chalmers, big shout out to you. That was my first ever live podcast in a studio sitting with somebody, and I enjoyed it. I think it was a good show, but guys, I was a nervous fucking wreck. That's something that I'm working on, and I don't know what it is, man. It was just, see, when I watched it back on the telly, I'm like, oh fuck. I don't know, my eyes are all over the place, my fucking horns are all over the place. I look dead agitated. I was a bit stiff. I wasn't really being me. I feel more comfortable doing it when I'm just myself. But again, that's something I'm working on now. That's something that I know for a fact I'm going to get invited onto more podcasts moving forward. It's just the thing now, alright? And I'll get more comfortable each time. But that was an experience. And again, shout out to the Fatherless Podcast. Go and follow them. Give them a subscribe. Sean Chalmers, a fellow comedian. He's a good guy. He's got cracking guests on the show. He's got a back catalogue, a big guest. But what I'm going to, moving forward, I'm going to be getting some guests, like I said. But in every episode, there will always be a small guest. And it's a wee segment called Tell Me Something I Don't Know. Right? So I'll phone up with my phone, a guest. You'll be able to hear their voice through the mic. And I'll be asking them a wee bit about themselves, what they've been up to. They can plug whatever it is they're doing, and I'll ask them a fact. During the week, I say, look, go and find something interesting that we might not know, and they're going to tell us a wee bit about it. So the first ever one I've got on is Evil Stevo, my brother. Me and Stevo got on great. We've always been best pals. He's a real good guy. I love him to death. If you know Stevo, you know what kind of guy he is. He's a cracking, stand-up dude. He's one of my best pals. I'm going to get him on, and he will tell us a wee bit about himself, and he'll tell us a fact as well. Right, Stevo, welcome to the show. You're the first guest that we've ever had in the show. How have you been?
I've been good, mate. Thanks for asking. Been really busy with work right through the full pandemic. Actually, I've been absolutely heaving. Both ends of the work we do, kind of domestic and commercial stuff, and we've been heaving throughout. So literally for a full year there, I didn't have a break until a couple of weeks ago. I took a week off just to kind of recharge the batteries, and I'm good to go again, mate.
Good, mate. So you've still got plenty of work happening?
Absolutely inundated with work. We're heaving. We've got work coming through all angles, and this year we're starting to pick up a lot of work from new clients, which is good. We're getting work coming through all angles, so really excited about the prospects we've got coming up. Excellent, my man, superb. Have you got anything you want to plug yourself, your business? Or? Well, the business is Smart Install. Smart Install Electrical Contracts Limited. That's a bit of a mouthful. You might need to put subtitles in because I can't speak right. So that is, we're essentially an electrical company, but we do carry two joiners. We do kitchen fits, so we now have a contract with Wren and also a contract with B&Q, which when the lockdown lifts, I think it's in the end of April, we'll be starting fitting for them as well as obviously the electrical work that we do, the kind of commercial side. So we're covering all bases at the moment. Good, my man. Listen, the reason you're on the show, this is it. Tell me something I don't know. So, I put a wee bit of time in to try to find something, and it was all kind of basic stuff. Facts that you always find that are interesting seem to always be with animals, so I tried to get away from them. So this is a bit of a phenomenon. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that's news to me, and it's very interesting to me. Right. So I've done a bit of research, I've watched YouTube videos, and it is true, it happens. Right. It's called the Mpemba effect. It's a boy from Africa. He was in school and he was making, I'm pretty sure it was ice cream, and he found that the ice cream that was hotter than the colder was actually freezing into the ice cream quicker when he was making it. Right. So the school got him up into a day like a kind of science talk, and this was absolute years ago, and there's loads and loads of scientists have put their time and effort into it, and there's millions of different theories about it. So that's interesting for me. I'm going to get involved in that. I love stuff like that. That's interesting. What's it called again, sorry? So it's the Mpemba effect. Mpemba is the guy's name. He found it in school. There's loads of different scientists have looked into it, and there's loads of different reasons that they believe it happens. If you watch a couple of daft videos on YouTube, you'll see different people doing it. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere like Canada, and they're throwing out a bucket of cold water and a bucket of warm water, and the warm water actually freezes in midair. Right. And it's got something to do with the molecules become less dense, so they stretch and it releases energy quicker, so it freezes quicker. Nice. Another explanation for it is It loses mass through evaporation because it's warm, which then in turn makes it, there's less to cool because it's actually lost some of the mass. Quite
Nice.
interesting.
That is interesting, and that's something that I didn't know.
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot of the viewers wouldn't know that either. So again, guys, you're learning something.
Yeah,
Is there anything else you want to add, Steve?
I've got one more thing I want to add, and it's a totally different subject.
Right.
But the thing is, it's just a wee fun fact, which I was looking for something like that.
Right.
So we'll finish with that.
Right.
So the fun fact is, on Snoop Dogg's next birthday, he will be 350 in dog years.
There we go, guys. What a fact. Thanks for coming on the show, mate. We'll speak to you again.
Appreciated.
No problem, my man. So that was Evo Stevo, guys. Thanks for coming on the show, brother. And what an interesting fact that was. Right, this is a part of the show where I'm going to plug local businesses. Moving forward, the more and more times I do this, each time, you know, I put an episode out, the more people are going to watch, and I'm going to be looking for a sponsor, somebody to sponsor the show, so that at the end of the day, I'm helping them and they're helping me. I'm getting a wee bit of money, back. It helps towards, you know, the show. It motivates me to do it. You know, it helps me with better equipment, making the show look better for you guys, better sound, better quality, better everything, right? So the first one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a wee plug for my mate who, it's a Cambuslang School of Rock, right? This is my mate, one of my longest mates. The guy's amazing. He's a guitar teacher. He's an amazing guitar teacher. And he's offering for any of my listeners free Zoom guitar lessons for the first 5 people that contact him. Now, they're on YouTube. Subscribe to him. That's Cambuslang School of Rock. You'll find them on Facebook. Just type it in, Cambuslang School of Rock, and you'll deal with my mate, Paul Sweeney. He's a fantastic teacher, a cracking guitar player. He's got patience, a saint, and he will teach you. If you are like me, right, I've been dying to know and learn how to play the guitar for so many years. I bought a guitar 4 or 5 years ago. I picked it up, I started playing it. I could play just about 1 or 2 songs, and I fell away from it. Gave my guitar to my mate, and I always told myself I'd learn how to play the guitar before I was 30. Now I'm 34, and I regret it. I regret it big time. So if it doesn't matter what age you are, this guy teaches people as young as 4, right up to people in their 70s and their 80s. So if you want to learn how to play the guitar, this guy will teach you. He's offering 5 people who make contact. The first 5 people will give you a free lesson, alright? If you use the code BONBON, that's right, BONBON, just like the sweeties. Use that code. Plus, he's offering 4 30-minute lessons for 45 quid. So that's 4 30-minute lessons for 45 quid, and that's a discount you're getting because it's usually 54 for a block, and he's giving it to my listeners for 45. So just say Mikey Bonbon. There's a good story about that. I'll tell you in the next episode, guys, behind the Bonbon. Also, I want to give a plug to my wee mate Chelsea, who has got a wax melt business, Scentalicious. You'll find them on Facebook. Alright? You'll find them on Facebook. Scentalicious. Wax melts. They smell amazing, guys. I get them and I put them in. I've got 3 burners. I've got one in the living room, one in my kitchen, one in my room, and I put these wee things on every day, and my house smells amazing. Coming for a guy whose house used to smell like pot noodles and cum, right? Pot noodles and cum. No, my house smells like heaven. It does. You know, she does all different fragrances. What are the one? Creed. My house smells like Creed, don't know. She does different fragrances like aftershaves and perfumes. She does the lot. She also does, you know, she does see like the powder that makes, if you put in your carpet and you hoover it smells amazing. Shaking vac. It's no shaking vac. It's better than shaking vac. A million times better than shaking vac. But if you want to have your house smelling lovely, it's also, guys, it's a nice wee gift to buy your birds. If you want to get in the good side with your bird, she does wee lovely wee sets, so you can buy, you know, your partners something for your ma. Alright, I would love to buy my ma a wee one of these lovely wee sets, but you guys can buy some of these for your ma, your mates, whatever. Just honestly give them a follow. Also as well, if you are in the Cambuslang or Rutherglen area, Happy Hound Hikes, my mate, has a dog walking business and he's doing really well with it. This guy has got a background with dogs, just he's had a dog since he's been a wee boy. He's always had dogs. This guy's a fucking dog whisperer, right? Everything that you should know about dogs, this guy knows it. He can train the dogs. He'll take him out a walk. This guy's class with dogs. Happy Hound Hike. So get them on Facebook as well. That was episode 2 of Mikey's Bit of the Podcast. What I need you to do is give it a share. The more people that share it, the more people that see it. At the end of the day, this is all down to yous. I can sit here and talk, do what I'm doing, but if it's no shareable, it's not shareable. If it's not likeable, it's not likeable. It's down to yous. The reason I've got all the subscribers I've got just now is because I shared it out with you guys, and you guys started going mental and sharing it with everybody. That's what I need you to do. Same goes with the comedy stuff I'm putting out, the sketches and everything. I need you guys to share it. Also, if you want to help support my channel and support the podcast, you can I'm going to put a link in the description, and it's buy me a coffee. Every single person who helps support me or help support this channel, I've already got supporters just now, and guys, I want to say a massive fucking thank you to every person that's bought a coffee so far, because it really is helping, right? That goes into a PayPal account, and that'll build up, and that's going to go to help me put on shows. It's going to go to camera equipment, better lights, better everything. It's going to make my shows better, and it spurs me on. It gives me, the motivation and the energy to actually do it, and it makes it worth my while. Because, like I said, I want to move into doing this. I want to get my channel monetised. I want to be doing this full time, right? So a big, massive thank you to all my supporters. You know who you are. I love you to death. So the guys that have already supported me, now their names have go into a folder, right? So it's a coffee, it's £4. So you just buy it for the link below, and it helps support the show. If you buy a coffee, it doesn't matter if you buy 1 coffee or 10 coffees or how many coffees you want to buy, but your name goes into a folder. And excuse me, guys, my horse is getting a bit throat. My throat's gone a bit hoarse. So your name goes into a folder, and once a year, or maybe twice a year, I'm going to be putting a big show on, a free show, stand-up comedy show, and it'll be me for all the supporters, and it'll be in a top club with a brilliant sound system. There'll be music, and there's going to be a headline act as well. So it'll be a big top headline act for the comedy circuit, who I'll pay for that money. Just to thank you guys. It'll be my new material. It'll be stuff I've been working on, stuff that nobody else will get to see, and it'll just be for yous. And that's as a thank you for helping me out, because it really does go a long way. When you do, it means a lot to me as well. And all the guys that do it, I don't forget it. I'll support yous, or whatever it is you're doing. I'll push it to death. I'll share the shit out it. And at the end of the day, that's what we should be doing. Everybody should be fucking helping each other. What I've noticed, and it's the same with any scene, right? It's the same with any scene, but in the comedy scene, I'm quite new to the actual stand-up comedy scene. Just over 2 years. So what I've noticed in that, I've met loads of cracking people that I've met as early as this in 2 years, and they're mates, and I know they're going to be mates for life now, because they're great guys. They want to help you, they want to share your stuff, they want to promote you, they buzz off you, they want to help you, they want to work with you. I'm getting a lot of that now, but what I'm also getting is a lot of cunts that I know are fucking jealous. They want to talk about you, they see you doing well, and they want to make shit up, and they want to just... I mean, it's the same in every scene. It was the same in the hardcore scene, the DJ scene. You get people that just can't see anybody doing well for themselves, right? I would say maybe years ago in the hardcore scene, when I was just kind of breaking through, there was a lot of people that maybe didn't like me. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of people that did, but through the years, there's people that people end up becoming a bit more sounder, and when you get to know them, it's better. But in the comedy scene, and again, whatever sort of scene you're in, you'll probably notice this, but there's a lot of people that don't want to see you doing well. Honestly, there's a load of people that just, they really don't want to see you, getting any bigger, and they want to try and stop you, which I don't like. So I'm all about promoting people. If you've got a wee business or whatever, and you want a wee shout in the show, get in touch. If you're a bigger business and you really want to help the show, and you want to, promote your brand or your business or whatever it is, get in contact and we can work something out. Alright, on that note, but guys, thanks for tuning in. I've enjoyed myself, I hope you have as well. Just fucking watch what you're doing out there. It's a mad, mad world we're living in the now, but hopefully, it'll get back to normal ASAP and we can get our fucking Waynes out to play. But guys, thank you. I love a lot of you. Take care. See you again.